Y sigue la salsa con salsa y José Masso. Y sigue la salsa con salsa y José Masso.
In essence, it's always been my idea that the music would be the bridge between the cultural communities that tune in. That the language would always be the connector as well as I communicate. But it was also important for me to use the program as a venue for social transformation of the audience. For the Latino audience in particular, and particularly the Puerto Rican audience, I wanted it to be an opportunity of rediscovering our roots, our identity, and feeling proud about who we are, but at the same time, move us to start thinking about what is our role, not only here in the United States, but in the diaspora, and also back home in Puerto Rico, and Latino America in general. So the program had a social content that was based on empowering the listener. Empowering the listener so that he or she would take stock about themselves and how they are connected to everybody else. We're not just here as individuals, we're here as a collective. We're collective human beings, but we're collective also as an identified community of Puerto Ricans, of Latinos, of African Americans, or others, but we are connected because we are identified through our identity. And it's imperative then that whenever we have an opportunity to communicate, and in particular through radio, we do so with a message of empowerment, a message of enlightenment. So the music that I pick isn't just what's the latest flavor. It's not based on what's the top hit. It's not based on what's popular. It's based on a series of criteria that I go through every week as to why I'm going to put these sets together that is either based on message, based on identity, based on social issues, based on a certain pattern that has to, you know, when you put 5 songs together, then it tells a story. And therefore, by telling the story, therefore, you are creating an envelope in which people can then start seeing, okay, I see what he's trying to lead me to start thinking about. Wow, that makes sense. I understand. And with the sounds of Eddie Palmieri in the background, we start another program here on Con Salsa, a new edition, another chapter of the very best in Afro-Latin music. Hoping that you enjoy the programming for the next 5 hours. Our number here is 617-353-0770, 617-353-0880. Hasta las 3 de la mañana con lo mejor de nuestra música afroantillana. El número aquí en la cabina es el 617-353. So for instance, if we were to talk about gender violence, right, and machismo, right? So you could pick a series of songs and put it together, and after you put it together, you can start seeing what the story is about and start reflecting on, is this really who we want to be as a society? Is this really the role of men in society? Is this the role of being a Latino man in society? Should we be moving this path when in fact we're inflicting harm instead of inflicting love, right? But the songs tell the message. So I use the songs as part of my preparation of the sermon, if you will, of salsa theology and salsa ministry during 5 hours, because the songs tell the message, and all I have to do is just basically tweak it through my words and through what I'm saying in regards to the songs that I'm playing. So there's always a thought behind what I'm preparing, because I want those 5 hours to be enlightening. I want those 5 hours to be transformative. I want those 5 hours to be memorable. I want those 5 hours to be impactful. And I want those 5 hours always just to be rejoiced, and we want to dance, and we want to have, you know, quiero gozar de la timba cubana, y quiero bailar el merengue, etc., etc. But I want to make sure that what we are sharing has a certain standard of quality so that the audience appreciates that we can produce things that have impact in who we are and what we're about, and our representation of who we are and what we're about. sounds of Eddie Palmieri on the piano, Ismael Quintana on vocals. Puerto Rico from the compact disc Sentido, our theme song for the last close to 40 years, celebrating 40 years anniversary on June 22nd. Gracias a todos ustedes por ser parte de la familia con salsa aquí en la onda de la salsa. Escuchando la voz de Ismael Quintana con el pianista Eddie Palmieri, el tema del programa con salsa Puerto Rico del disco Sentido aquí en la onda de la salsa. And so I take, great pride in being very selective of the music I'm playing and the artists I'm playing and why I'm playing these artists and how I'm sequencing the songs or the music, be it Latin jazz or be it, salsa or being whatever it is. There's a criteria that I go through in preparing the show. So it's 5 hours, just like a book. So it's like being a journalist, right? I'm chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5. 5 hours, 5 chapters that basically I hope will be covering the things that I want to enlighten people with. The majority of one community is still Puerto Rican. We are the overwhelming majority, but we're not no longer the only monolithic Latino community in the city. So part of that means then that we have had to be very adroit in being proud of our history as being change agents in this city and being the vanguard that allowed a lot of changes to occur that others have benefited from, but also to be also understanding that we are part of a broader group of Latinos, which in my opinion is what I call un pueblo nuevo, right? Because we all come from these different areas of Latin America, but it's only here in the United States where we're able to create our own set of who we are. And I call it un pueblo nuevo, right? Because as a Puerto Rican, I'm still Puerto Rican, but I'm very much engaged with my other brothers and sisters from the other parts of the Caribbean and Latin America, right? I have a strong affinity with Cubans as I do with Dominicans, as I do with Salvadorians, as I do with Colombians, as I do with Mexicans, because we are part of this un pueblo nuevo. But the Puerto Rican community still is a very strong, vibrant, thriving community, one that I believe is also at a crossroads because we're not so far from our island. We have the advantage that others don't, that we can travel back and forth. And so we are concerned, as many are, for the future of Puerto Rico, that 100 by 35. We are as concerned to be part of the solution to whatever's happening in Puerto Rico. We want to be very much part of the discourse as to where it goes and how it moves forward in the 21st century. So we don't want to be seen as just, we left and we're here. We want to be seen as we're here, we're contributing, we're thriving here, but we want to be contributing as to a thriving island from which all of us consider our motherland, regardless if people were born here in Villa Victoria, South Bend, or wherever, Massachusetts, or we were born in Puerto Rico. We are very much still connected to the island, and I think that's still very much part of who we are as Puerto Ricans.